Before we begin, viewer discretion is strongly advised. The following is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Alright, everybody buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into week 4 of the Sean Diddy Combs criminal trial, and let me tell you, this case is wilder than a reality TV reunion. And today we're unpacking the juiciest, most jaw-dropping details swirling around this rap mogul's racketeering and sex trafficking case. We've got a mysterious right-hand woman, a disappearing victim, and, hold on to your hats, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Yes, you heard that right, this is crime psychology, and we're about to get messy. Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka Diddy, the guy who brought us Bad Boy Records and Making the Band, is now sitting in a Manhattan courtroom facing charges that could lock him up for life. The feds are alleging he ran a full-on criminal enterprise. Think Tony Soprano, but with better beats. Racketeering, SX trafficking, prostitution, you name it. They say he used his companies, his staff, and his resources to pull off crimes and cover them up. And at the center of this storm, a woman named Christina Corrm, his alleged right-hand gal, who's been name-dropped more times in this trial than a Kardashian in a tabloid. So, the big questions: will Christina Corm testify? What could she spill? And is she the key to cracking this case wide open? Let's break it down, starting with who this woman even is. Christina Corrm, or KK as Diddy calls her, was his chief of staff for 8 years. In a 2021 Facebook post, Diddy himself gushed, "KK keeps everything in my life and my business running. She's been my right hand for the last 8 years and has consistently proven to execute and get shit done. Don't know how I'd function without her." Sounds like a glowing LinkedIn review, right? Except now, that same woman is being painted as the linchpin in his alleged criminal empire. Corrm's name keeps popping up in court like a bad ex at a wedding. Witnesses say she was the one calling the shots, scheduling Diddy's life, handling his moods, and maybe, just maybe, helping orchestrate what prosecutors call freakoffs. And these are the elaborate, drug-fueled sex performances Diddy allegedly forced women like Cassandra Cassie Ventura into, complete with hired workers, hotel rooms prepped like crime scenes, and staff cleaning up the evidence afterward. And George Kaplan, Diddy's former assistant, testified that he reported directly to Corrm. When asked who told him to set up hotel rooms for Diddy, he said, either Mr. Combs himself or Christina. Mic drop. Kaplan also spilled that he told Corrm about violent incidents he witnessed, like Diddy holding a whiskey glass over Cassie's head on a private jet or chucking green apples at another girlfriend. Corrm's response? She stayed quiet and kept working for Diddy, allegedly up until his arrest in September 2024. Cassie Ventura herself dropped some tea, saying she talked to Corrm every day about everything from Diddy's schedule to his temper tantrums. Cassie even reached out to Corrm about a book she wrote detailing her time with Diddy, hoping he'd buy the rights for $30 million. Corrm's reply, "Nobody took it seriously. Ouch." Then there's Deontine Ash, Cassie's stylist, who said she told Corrm about Diddy's violence toward Cassie. Corrm promised to talk to him, but the abuse didn't stop. Another witness, Carrie Morgan, Cassie's friend, said Corrm was there when Diddy allegedly tried to break into Cassie's apartment, banging on the door like a scene from a horror movie. And Mia, another alleged victim, claimed Corrm would blow up her phone with messages like, "He needs you to call him now or you're fired." Talk about pressure. So is Corrm the loyal employee caught in a bad spot, or is she, as one lawsuit claims, the Ghislaine Maxwell of Diddy's operation? Let's get into the rumors swirling around her, but fair warning, some of this is straight up gossip, so take it with a grain of salt. Okay folks, we're diving into the rumor mill, and it's spicier than a hot sauce convention. These are unverified claims, so don't go tweeting them as gospel just yet. Buckle up, because this one's a doozy. The rumor kicked off in February 2024 when Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a former producer for Diddy, filed a civil lawsuit that set the internet on fire. Jones didn't hold back, comparing Corrm to Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman sentenced to 20 years for helping Jeffrey Epstein traffic minors. Yeah, that Maxwell.
New allegations against Sean Diddy Combs, a music producer, is accusing hip-hop mogul of assaulting him and forcing him to have sex with prostitutes.
Jones alleges Corrm wasn't just Diddy's chief of staff, she was the chief manipulator of his alleged criminal enterprise, the puppet master pulling strings behind the scenes. Here's what he claims she did.
It's very scary. for myself, and it has me worried about my kids, and just sleeping with anxiety and different things like that. So just moving forward.
Orchestrated freak-offs like a pro. Jones says Corrm was the brains behind Diddy's infamous freak-offs, those multi-day sex marathons involving drugs like cocaine, GHB, ecstasy, and something called Tucci, a mix of ecstasy and cocaine. She allegedly arranged everything, hiring sex workers, setting up hotel rooms with extra sheets and mood lighting, and making sure the vibe was just right for Diddy's twisted fantasies. According to Jones, Corrm was in charge of Diddy's drug bag, a go-to stash of narcotics that staff had to carry at all times. Need a hit of cocaine at 3 a.m.? KK's got you. Want some GHB for the after party? She's on it. Jones claims she ensured Diddy's crew was always ready to fuel his wild nights. When Jones complained about Diddy allegedly groping him, Corrm reportedly brushed it off, saying, "Sean's just being Sean," or calling it a friendly joke. Yikes. Jones says she normalized Diddy's behavior, turning a blind eye to his alleged sexual misconduct and keeping the operation running smoothly. Ashley Parham's suit claims Corrm was straight up menacing, threatening to ship her anywhere in the world so she'd never see her family again. Parham also alleges Corrm argued with Diddy about forcing an IUD into her, not because it was wrong, but because it wouldn't work. Another suit by Phil Pines, a former assistant, says Corrm knew Diddy kicked a woman to the ground in 2021 but did nothing. Seven Goozel's lawsuit accuses her of booking hotels, arranging transport, and supplying drugs to facilitate Diddy's alleged assaults. This rumor's gone viral, with outlets like Daily Mail, New York Post, Rolling Stone, and the Times of India splashing headlines like Diddy's Ghislaine Maxwell or The Manipulator-in-Chief. On X, users are losing it, posting things like, "KK knows all of Diddy's dirt. She's either flipping or going down with him." And, "If she talks, Hollywood's shaking." The Maxwell comparison is pure dynamite, painting Corrm as the gatekeeper to Diddy's darkest secrets, the one who made his alleged crimes possible. But here's where it gets murkier than a swamp. Corrm hasn't been charged with a single crime despite all these accusations. When Diddy was arrested on September 16, 2024 at the Park Hyatt Hotel, Homeland Security seized her phone, which has everyone whispering, "She's got a deal with the feds." She hasn't been charged, which screams cooperation. If she's not in the crosshairs, she's probably spilling the beans. The plot thickens with Corrm's own response. In a statement to Rolling Stone on March 19, 2025, she came out swinging. "For months, horrific accusations have been made about me in various lawsuits regarding my former boss. These false allegations are causing irreparable and incalculable damage to my reputation and the emotional well-being of myself and my family. I have never condoned or aided and abetted the sexual assault of anyone, nor have I ever drugged anyone. The idea that I could be accused of playing a role in, or even being a bystander to the rape of anyone, is beyond upsetting, disturbing, and unthinkable. That is not who I am, and my heart goes out to all victims of sexual assault. I am confident that the allegations against me will be proven untrue." Phew, that's a mic drop of a denial. Corrm's painting herself as a victim of a smear campaign, caught in the crossfire of Diddy's legal mess. But the Maxwell label? It's sticking like gum on a shoe, and it's not just because of Jones's lawsuit. Witnesses in the criminal trial keep dragging her name into the spotlight. George Kaplan's testimony, Diddy's ex-assistant said Corrm was his boss, the one who told him to prep hotel rooms for freak-offs. He also told her about Diddy's violent outbursts, like the time Diddy held a whiskey glass over Cassie's head on a jet, or threw green apples at another girlfriend. Corrm's reaction? Crickets. She kept working for Diddy, allegedly until his arrest. Cassie said Corrm was her daily confidant, privy to Diddy's moods and her own personal struggles. When Cassie tried to pitch her book about her time with Diddy, Corrm shot it down, saying no one believed it was legit. Cassie also placed Corrm at the scene of an incident where Diddy tried to break into her apartment, with chaos outside the door. Deontine Ash, Cassie's stylist, said she told Corrm about Diddy's abuse, but nothing changed. Carrie Morgan recalled Corrm calling her when Diddy couldn't reach Cassie, acting as his enforcer. Mia, another alleged victim, said Corrm relayed Diddy's threats like, "Call him in 2 minutes, or you're fired." The media's having a field day, with Daily Mail calling Corrm Diddy's gatekeeper, and New York Post hinting she knows everything and might be smart enough to cooperate. On X, the speculation's wild, with posts like KK's sitting on a goldmine of secrets, if she flips Diddy's toast, and she's either the mastermind or the fall guy, no in between. Some even compare her to a mob consigliere, the one who keeps the boss's hands clean while running the show. But there's a flip side. Diddy's legal team, led by Erica Wolf, is fighting back, calling Jones's lawsuit fiction and a media stunt to extort a quick payout. They argue Corrm was just doing her job, not masterminding a crime ring, and in court, Diddy's lawyers have been strategic, painting her as a sympathetic figure. During cross-examination, George Kaplan said Corrm was disappointed and sad about Diddy's violence, and Carey Morgan called her a nice girl who always tried to help. The defense is pushing the narrative that Corrm was a reluctant employee, not a criminal, and that this whole case is about domestic drama, not racketeering or sex trafficking. This rumor's a big deal. If Corrm testifies, she could be the prosecution's silver bullet. She knows where all the bodies are buried, metaphorically speaking. She can prove this was an ongoing criminal enterprise, not some one-off bad behavior. She could detail how Diddy's companies were allegedly used to book hotels, hire sex workers, and cover up crimes. Textbook racketeering. She might also corroborate Cassie's claims of coercion and violence, nailing the sex trafficking charge, but Diddy's team is ready to pounce. If Corrm takes the stand, they'll likely attack her credibility, pointing to the civil lawsuits and saying she's lying to dodge her own legal trouble. Those lawsuits are brutal. Parham's claim about the IUD and threats, Pines' accusation of inaction, Guzel's drug and hotel allegations. They could paint Corrm as the real villain, desperate to save herself by throwing Diddy under the bus. And if she testifies for Diddy, she risks perjury charges if she lies, especially if the feds have her phone's contents. It's a high-stakes gamble, and Corrum's walking a tightrope over a shark tank. Let's not forget the human cost. The victims, Cassie, Mia, and others, have bared their souls in court, reliving trauma that's heartbreaking to hear. Cassie's testimony about Diddy's abuse, backed by that 2016 hotel video, is gut-wrenching. If Corrm was enabling this, as Jones claims, it's a betrayal of trust on an epic scale. But if she's telling the truth in her statement, she's a woman caught in a nightmare. Her reputation shredded by association. Either way, the Maxwell comparison is a heavy burden, and it's shaping how the world sees her. On X, the Ghislaine Maxwell label is pure catnip, fueling memes and hot takes. Some see Corrm as a cold-blooded enabler, others as a scapegoat for Diddy's sins. The truth, probably somewhere in the middle, but until she testifies or the feds drop a bombshell, we're left with a rumor that's as tantalizing as it is unproven. Next up, we've got Gina Huin, a Vietnamese-American model and Diddy's ex-girlfriend from 2014 to 2019. She's rumored to be victim number 3 in the case, and according to Daily Mail, she was supposed to testify after Cassie, but vanished like a magician's rabbit. Poof, gone. Huin's got a history with Diddy, and it's not pretty. In a 2019 interview with vlogger Tasha K, she accused him of physical, mental, and emotional abuse. She claimed Diddy stomped on her stomach while she was pregnant, causing a miscarriage, and pressured her to abort another pregnancy with a $50,000 offer and a bottle of wine. Classy, right? She also said Diddy got mad when she shook hands with Meek Mill at a party, and later kicked her out when he reunited with Cassie. So why'd she disappear? Daily Mail says Huin, who lives in Las Vegas, wants to avoid the media circus of the trial. Prosecutors told the judge they're struggling to reach her or her lawyer, and she might not show up. On X, folks are speculating she's been threatened or just doesn't want the spotlight, but there's no proof either way. Cassie testified that a 2018 photo of Diddy with Huin was the final straw that ended their relationship, so Huin's story could have been a big win for the prosecution. Huin's absence is a blow to the feds, who were counting on her explosive testimony to back up Cassie's claims. But with other witnesses like Mia and Kaplan, they've still got plenty of ammo. If Huin changes her mind and shows up, it could be a game changer. For now, though, she's the ghost in this legal haunted house. Yes, you read that right. During raids on Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami, Homeland Security allegedly found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube. I'm sorry, what? Did Diddy open a secret Bath and Body Works? This tidbit from the indictment blew up on X with people joking, what kind of party needs that much baby oil? The feds say these were used in freakoffs, those multi-day sex marathons with drugs, extra sheets, and mood lighting. George Kaplan testified he packed hotel bags for Diddy with baby oil, Astroglide, candles, and speakers, so the baby oil claim isn't totally out of left field. But 1,000 bottles? Sounds like someone's exaggerating for the headlines. The New York Post and the Times of India ran with it, and now it's a meme fest online. Diddy's lawyers haven't directly addressed the baby oil, but they're sticking to their everything was consensual defense. Meanwhile, I'm over here wondering if Diddy's got stock in Johnson & Johnson. Why it matters? It's a salacious detail that makes Diddy look like a cartoon villain, but in court, it's just one piece of evidence. If the prosecution can tie the baby oil to illegal freak-offs, it's damning. If not, it's just a weird flex. Now we're getting into X-Files territory. Someone named Courtney Burgess claims to have 11 USB drives filled with freak-off videos featuring Diddy and other celebs, allegedly handed over by Diddy's late ex, Kim Porter, before her death in 2007. Burgess says these are Porter's true memoirs and could expose a web of famous faces. Sounds like a Hollywood thriller, right? The indictment does mention videos. Diddy allegedly recorded freak-offs to blackmail victims into silence. But Burgess's USBs? No one's seen them and there's no proof they exist. Diddy's team sued Burgess for defamation, calling his claims lies. But a judge denied their request to gag him, so the rumor's still floating around X like a bad conspiracy theory. Oh, and get this, there's drama about a 2016 hotel video of Diddy attacking Cassie. Marca reported CNN might have destroyed the original, raising questions about evidence tampering. What is this, a crime drama or a soap opera? Why it matters. If Burgess's videos are real, they could blow the case wide open, but right now, they're just smoke. The Cassie video is already a slam dunk for the prosecution, but any whiff of mishandled evidence could give Diddy's team an edge. Last one, and it's a doozy. Some X posts and sketchy blogs are saying Diddy's case is part of a witch hunt targeting big names like Weinstein or Epstein. The Burgess videos, the mention of celebs like Drusky and Odell Beckham Jr. in civil suits, and Corram's Maxwell label have folks thinking this is bigger than Diddy. Is there a secret cabal of shady stars? Spoiler, there's no evidence. The lawsuits naming other celebs have been called baseless by police. And the feds are laser focused on Diddy and his inner circle. But the internet loves a good conspiracy, and this one's got legs. Why it matters? It's a distraction from the real case, but shows how hungry people are for a juicy scandal. If more names get dragged in, expect X to explode. Back to Christina Corm. The prosecution's painting her as the glue holding Diddy's empire together, but they haven't called her yet. Why? Strategy, baby. By having witnesses like Kaplan, Cassie, and Mia mention her repeatedly, the jury's already got her name on speed dial. If she takes the stand, it's like dropping a bombshell after a slow burn. Former prosecutor Dave Ehrenberg thinks she's cooperating. She hasn't been charged, which screams deal. Her phone was seized, she knows everything, and the feds know it too. If she testifies, she could detail how Diddy's company was allegedly used for crimes, from booking hotels for freak-offs to intimidating victims. That's racketeering 101. But Diddy's team isn't going down without a fight. On cross-examination, they've painted Cororm as a nice girl who was disappointed in Diddy's behavior, not a criminal mastermind. George Kaplan said she was sad about Diddy's violence, and Carrie Morgan called her innocent and always trying to help. The defense is pushing the narrative that this was domestic drama, not a federal crime spree. No racketeering, no sex trafficking, just a messy relationship. If Cororm testifies for the prosecution, Diddy's lawyers will come for her hard. They'll point to her civil lawsuits and say she's lying to save her own skin. If she goes rogue and testifies for Diddy, she risks perjury charges if she lies. It's a tightrope, and she's got no safety net. Cassandra Ventura, Mia, and others have relived their trauma on the stand, describing abuse that's gut-wrenching to hear. Cassie talked about Diddy's violence, coercion, and control, backed up by that 2016 hotel video that seared into our minds. Mia said Diddy assaulted her, and Corrm was the one relaying his threats. These women are fighting for justice, and it's not easy. In the court of public opinion, Diddy's toast. Between the baby oil memes, the Maxwell headlines, and the video of him attacking Cassie, he's less hip-hop icon and more public enemy. Even if he beats the charges, the damage is done. How does he survive this in the court of public opinion? I don't think he can. So where does this leave us? Christina Corm is the wild card. If she testifies, she could be the prosecution's secret weapon, tying Diddy's empire to a pattern of crime. Or she could surprise us and back Diddy, though that's a risky move. Gina Huin's absence is a plot twist, but the feds have enough witnesses to keep the pressure on. The baby oil? It's a laughable detail until it's linked to a crime. And those USBs? Probably just a pipe dream. This trial's a roller coaster, and we're only in week 4. Will Corrm take the stand? Will Huin reappear? Will we ever figure out what's up with all that baby oil? Stay tuned, because I'll be back with more updates. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, and let me know what you think on X. Is Corrm the key to this case, or is she just caught in the crossfire? I'll catch you next time. Peace out.